Uh, we'll resume the recording. Yes, I'm going to provide a recording to you afterwards, and I'm going to show you where to get that now. Kieran found us on Meetup. Brilliant. Nice one. You're in the West. Good stuff. Uh, right, so I'm going to end that poll now. And then share the results. So that's where everyone is. It's an anonymous poll. Um, Still admitting people here, so bear with me a second. Okay, that's great. Okay, so you can see in the poll there, 67%, 8 of 12 respondents use Claude sometimes, 2 are using it every day, 2 don't use it at all. Most everyone is on the web, some are in desktop, some are in Claude Code, not at all. Okay, well, thanks for taking part in that. Just close that down. Slovakia, well done. Thanks for being here, Gabriel or Gabrielle, if I got your name right there. Um, Meetup, Portugal, Mauro, good stuff. Meetup again, PP. Okay, great. So let me know where you're joining from, what country are you in, and where you found the workshop. Just good to know that for my own sake. So just a very short introduction. I'm Larry McGuire and I'm a work and business psychologist. And I paired up with a colleague of mine in 2023 and we put together one of the first AI skills programs here in Ireland. And we've been delivering that to businesses since then. We've probably trained about 1,000 people so far in fundamental digital skills, including AI. And this is an extension of that work. It's probably the majority of my work now, believe it or not. I teach as well, organizational psychology, but the tech stuff, the technical side of things has always been a part of what I do. So it's not unusual to find myself in this kind of space. Anyway, so if you want to get the recording, I'm going to share a link with you now. You can find the recording here after we finish up. And I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat if any of you have anything you want to ask. And I'm in the process. Let me just share what that looks like here. So this is the community space. And in here, in the workshops section here, is where you will get the recordings. So here's recording from last Friday. Here's one from the 20th of February, where we built a website live using Claude Code. Here's a recording from the 13th of Feb, 6th of Feb, and so on. You can go back down through them here and check out these workshop recordings and associated files. For example, in here, you'll see from this recording from the 20th of February, you've got some files that you can use to build your own site, similar to what we did in that workshop. So all the workshops are here and the files associated with them. It's the school community. And once you hit that link, I look out for you for your name and I'll let you in straight away. As an addition, this is the Gen AI Skills website, and I'm busy building this out. It's not complete yet, but as part of it, there's the hub, which again kind of adds to the resources that are available. All of this is free. It's kind of like a wiki or how to get started using Claude. And in here, there are resource packs. You just need to enter your email in here, unlock the packs, and you can see the packs will open up. In here, then you can check out the various documents that are available, in this case, for using Claude with PowerPoint. What else we got? Data privacy. Everyone should be interested in data privacy as it regards using AI. I have a couple of documents in here for you as well. Claude Code Memory, we did a session on that. We got some documents in here. So genaiskills.io is where to go if you want additional material. So just going to stop that here and paste that into the chat. So that's where we are. So what I wanted to do today, if it's all good with you folks, is to just do a walkthrough of Claude Desktop application and show you around the settings area, and maybe talk about some of the fundamental differences between the Claude Desktop app and how it functions and Claude Code. Um, Most people who maybe are not coders or developers might get kind of turned off by the name Claude Code, but you really shouldn't because there's aspects to Claude Code and features that and functionality that the desktop and the web app don't have. So wanted to get in. If you have any questions as I move through this, drop them into the chat and I'll try to keep up to date with those. Um, or observations as well as we move through it. Feel free to drop your questions into the chat there, okay? So we're recording this, and the links are in the chat there for you to get the recordings afterwards for anyone who has just joined. Okay, so let's go to the Claude desktop application. Move things around here a little bit. All right, so very similar to the browser, but with some differences. You know, in the browser, if you've been using Claude in the browser, you have to, create projects and upload documents, and and you're downloading and cutting and pasting prompts and all that kind of stuff. Um, the desktop app kind of does away with that to a large extent. So the first thing you should do when you log in to your desktop application is go into settings. And in settings, this is where you set your details of your personal profile. And the important piece here is the custom instructions section. So if you haven't done this yet, you'll get a document in one of the links there that I shared in the chat to help you create your custom instructions. This basically tells Claude who you are and what the nature of your work. So, for example, you indicate its identity or instruct it in terms of its identity that it should assume. So, in this case, I'm asking it to be my personal assistant for my work and business functions, and I explain its role. I'm not going to get into custom instructions too deeply here today because I've covered it before. But if you want this file, it's available. Click the link in the chat that I sent you, and you'll get that. So this is probably one of the first things you should do is to create this custom instructions file for Claude so that it understands you and your work. Okay. Tell it what you do. I've just selected human resources because it's the nearest one, but if you don't, you just select one, whatever one's applicable to you. Next section down, account. This is just account information and your activity details. Nothing much to see there. Privacy is important. Um, in here, you want to look at these settings here and explore these settings a little bit. There's reading here in terms of how they protect your data and use your data. It's important to know this. And in summary, Anthropic will save your chats and your files for up to 5 years, unless you tell it otherwise. So down here, there's two settings that I would recommend you turn off. One of them is location metadata, and the other one is help improve Claude. So when you have these turned off, as I have, that's it turned on, that's it turned off. Um, your content is it's still used to train the model, but it's only kept for 30 days. So I'd recommend you turn these off. You can also explore, as I said here, these links, how Claude uses your data. It's important to know that. And I suppose bottom line is Anthropic are going to use your data regardless. That's the nature of the relationship that you enter into when you begin to use Claude. If you're on an enterprise plan, maybe you have a greater scope to negotiate terms. But for the likes of you and me, if we're going to use these AI applications, we generally don't have the option. There's a couple of comments coming in on the chat there. Let me just check those. Let's see. It's too much input. I have to. That's fine. No problem. Off you go. Yeah. Okay. My screen is too small. Okay. You still seeing my screen? Everybody still seeing my screen? Should be anyway. So make sure you go in here and set your privacy settings. Go into memory preferences next. And I have switched on search and reference chats. If you want Claude to search for details across your chat sessions, turn this on. Generate memory from chat history. This is automatic. If you turn this on, well then Claude will automatically save certain particulars to its own memory. So you can check this out by clicking on that document. Again, in here, as you can see, it's here. You can delete it here if you want. When you click on it, you'll see that there's some content here that Claude has added, and you can scroll down and edit this if you wish, or you can ask Claude to remember certain things. And this stuff is loaded at the start of every chat. So that's another element that you'd need to look at and be aware that's active. If you want to import your info from ChatGPT, this is where you do it. A lot of people were leaving ChatGPT in the last number of weeks since they announced their deal with the US Department of War. Claude seemed like, the moral and ethical kind of benchmark for AI, but really the story goes deeper than that. But anyway, if you're leaving ChatGPT, this is where you can do it. You can click on Start the Import and use this prompt in ChatGPT to extract your info and then drop it in here once you have it. Tool access, load tools when needed, tools already loaded. This is important because let me go back to the chat here for a second. So when you're in a chat session, start a new chat. This this context here where you have your conversation, you've only got 200,000 tokens available, and when you run out, the conversation begins to compact. And when it compacts, it basically creates a summary of the chat session you've just had. And so your chat sessions become progressively filled up, and Claude can lose context. So that's important to remember when you're in settings in privacy here. Where was I? Manage shared chats, manage preferences. In here, tool access. Because if you turn on load tools when the tools already loaded, that means your tools are taking up context. And if you're only on the $20 a month plan, that means your context window is being filled up with tools. So load tools when needed. That's what I'd recommend there. Visuals, I've got these all turned on. AI powered artifacts. Artifacts are code snippets and content pieces, text documents, etc. That's switched on. AI powered artifacts switched on. and inline visualizations. I have that switched on. So these are allow that kind of advanced functionality within your conversations with Claude. Code execution, I have both of these turned on. Uh, So I'd recommend you do them as well. Allow network egress. You might want to turn that off. There are risks involved with the allow network egress, but if you want certain functionality, you should turn that on. The domain allow list is what you set next. I've that set to managers only. So if you allow all domains here, it means that Claude can access all domains on the internet, and there's a high risk that malicious scripts on websites could gain access to your system and compromise your private data and information. So don't set that for all domains. Either set it to none or set it to package managers only. You can also add allowed domains in here and then click add. So you might add one like so and add that to the list. Let's talk about skills. So you can find these in customize. If I go down here and go into settings again and capabilities, tool access, visual skills. So capabilities, skills, click on skills. And skills, some of you may already know what skills are, but essentially, skills are packets of instructions for Claude, um, uh, whereby it will recognize if this particular skill set is required and then will bring it into the conversation to carry out the task for you. So, for example, this tag file skill that I created in here in Claude Desktop. This tells Claude that it is an expert at organizing files on Mac OS using the native tagging system. So I wanted Claude to tidy up my desktop and tag all the files appropriately and use the Mac OS tagging system to do so because that is a laborious pain in the ass task that I didn't want to do. And I recognized the benefit of having my files tagged, but I didn't want to do it. So I wrote this skill so that Claude would do it for me. So when this skill is invoked, you will analyze files and apply meaningful tags based on the file name, keywords, folder path, context, file extensions, and the file content. I'm only asking it to read the first 2000 bytes of text. So basically, I'm asking Claude to use this skill and identify the content and apply a tag. And then here's the workflow. Step one, understand the user's context. Step two, check existing scripts. If none found, created using the template below. Customize tags for users' domain based on the user's profession, custom domain, keywords, dictionary, and these are the examples. Psychology coaching, it's recognized that I do that. Here are some keywords. So recognizing those, this is a Python script that Claude created based on my instructions. Accounting and finance, design and creative, etc. So these are the tags, and it will assign them to documents when I run this skill. So you're kind of getting the picture. Files, these skill files allow Claude to execute um, workflows and processes on my behalf, and you can create any number of skills yourself, and you can do so by clicking the little plus button here. Create with Claude, write skill instructions, or upload a skill. So I'm going to go over to you folks and ask you to let's pick a skill. Tell me what skill you'd like me to create here with Claude. Just drop it in the chat. What common task do you do you do on a maybe on a daily or a weekly basis that you'd like to automate on your machine? Any thoughts? Don't be shy. Let me know in the chat. What would you like Claude to make? What kind of skill? Anyone got any ideas? Okay, I'll pick one for you then. Maybe we're all feeling a bit shy. Organize emails and delete. Okay. So, Mauro, a couple of things that we need to consider here, and those are does Claude have access to our email account? So let's just do it and uh, let's do it and see what kind of questions Claude throws back at us. Okay. Okay, let's just hit enter because that's an automatic prompt that Claude has entered in. Okay, what should the skill do? So we'll just take your text, organize emails and delete. Have to be careful with the delete bit because Kieran, generating start off 8-bar music tracks for a given style. We might come back to that one. What should the skill do? Okay, so organize emails and archive maybe old ones. What else we wanted to do? We wanted to create a summary of uh, emails received in the last 24 hours and create a to-do list. Let's see now. So what you can see going on here is Claude is reading the skill creator skill. It's a skill that's built into the platform. So a few questions it needs to get answers to. Gmail only, or should this work across multiple clients? So let's say Gmail. You can also, I don't like the way Claude asks all the questions at once. So I generally say, um, give me questions one at a time. So archiving threshold. Emails older than how long should be archived? I would say 2 months. Where should it land, this to-do list? Chat only, a markdown file, or push to Notion Google Doc? So let's say create a Google Doc. And do we want a markdown? We'll just leave it at that for the moment. We can explore this and edit it and return to it at a later point. Summary detail, just the sender and subject, or should it also extract key items? Um, yes, key items, key action items. So it's going to work creating a directory, writing up the skill, and it's following a particular format that the skill document needs to follow. One thing that I'll add while that's working away there is you can open the sidebar by clicking on the top here, and you can have access to projects, artifacts, chats, and all your previous chats are here on the left-hand side. This is quite weak for me. The way it stores chats. Uh, they're just dumped here on the left-hand side in kind of sequential date order. But there's no way you can categorize them and package them and put them in appropriate places. You're left with this setup here, which is maybe not great for me, but nonetheless, that's how it does it. Um, okay, so here's the draft. Draft is written. Let me run a quick sanity check. Okay. One issue to flag. Line 22 has the wrong. Okay. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Step one. So here's what it does. Step one fetches all emails from the last 24 hours via the Gmail MCP. Archives everything older than 60 days from your inbox in batches of 50. Creates a Google Doc titled email briefing with the date. Trigger phrases Triggers on phrases like check my emails, summarize my emails, archive old emails, inbox triage, and this is it. So this is the file. What we do here is we have to review it. So it's open on the right hand side in full. We're going to read it here and make sure it does what we say, what we said we wanted it to do. If it doesn't do that or there's something missing, we just edit here in the chat panel. So the skill summarizes emails in the last 24 hours. Um, Edit. So let's just say I need the last 48 hours. So it'll rewrite the skill. So this is the process that you need to undertake with Claude in the desktop. It's similar in Claude Code and arguably better. But if you're creating a skill for a piece of work that you do on a regular basis, this is how you do it in the desktop. In the desktop application, pardon me. So I'm going to save this now. I'm happy with it. Let's say I am happy with it. I've read through it. I can click on copy to my skills and I can click on then manage, go back into my skills, and here it is, the email manager. And I can read what it's about and so on. Um, there are my skills. Go back into settings, capabilities, customize skills, and there's my skills. Connectors are here. Google Drive is connected. Uh, Gmail is not connected. I can connect it here. So the skill won't work unless I connect it. So it's probably good to just um, stay with this for a second. So various applications that I can connect here. Um, I didn't install this because it's made by a third party, but Gmail, Google Calendar, Notion, Slack, you can connect all of these here in your backend settings. Skills themselves. This is the one that I made. Plugins. Plugins. I'm going to continue on here. Plugins are packages of skills and other automations. So there's not only the skill itself in here. This is a marketing plugin, and inside the marketing plugin, there are multiple skills. So a plugin is like a departmental function. If you want to speak in business terms, you could create a plugin here for operations, for accounting. This is a productivity plugin. Inside the productivity plugin, you've got a couple of skills that I created here, like start, update, task management, connectors that I can add, and so on. So, as a hierarchy, skills are the fundamental kind of uh, piece of the jigsaw, you might say, and plugins contain multiple skills and other connectors that make something possible, like marketing, multiple skills and connectors here as well. So that's customize. Let's go back in here again into settings. We were on, well, billing, privacy. We looked at billing, usage. Usage is basically tells you how much of your token allocation you have used. If you're on the $20 account or the $100 or whatever max account, you'll see how much you've consumed here. Capabilities we looked at briefly. You've got memory we looked at, tool access we've looked at, very briefly looked at visuals, suggested you turn these on. Code execution and file creation, we've turned them on. And we also looked at skills. Let's look at connectors now. So connectors are the likes of third-party services that you can turn on. You can turn on Google Drive here. I'm prompted to approve that. I approve it and come back and it should be connected. You just go through these, the ones you want. You can add custom connectors. These are called MCPs. Maybe that's a topic for another session. But custom connectors allow you connect to third-party services. Once they have an API, you can connect to it and create a custom connector in here. And then these custom connectors can form part of your workflows and the skills that you create or the packages of skills inside a plugin. That's connectors. Cloud Code. We won't get onto that one today, but I use Claude Code in VS Code, so it's a different animal. And then Cowork. I'm gonna finish up on Cowork. Cowork, when you click on it here, gives you broader functionality. So, as opposed to your regular chat sessions, which are here, you need to upload files or add to a project various functions here, styles, connectors, and so on. In Cowork, you can ask your AI to work inside a folder. So I've created one already. It's called my Cowork workspace. And this is where I like, if I'm using the desktop application, this is where I like to work. And so the way I have my workspace constructed, I have particular commands that I've added in. Let's see if this operates. I mightn't have this programmed in here yet. No, I haven't got that in there yet. I forgot to save. Let me see. Let me actually share something else for a minute because I want to show you where this actually relates to. So this is important. I just showed you how to add a folder to your workspace. That folder can't be in a OneDrive or a Proton Drive or a Google Drive. It needs to be at the root level in your file structure. So if you're on a Mac, it needs to be in your user at the user level. And the same if you're on Windows. Don't create your Claude workspace folders inside what's called a client drive like OneDrive and Proton Drive or Google Drive because there's a risk of corrupting the data. And that's because if your OneDrive is synchronizing a document and saving a document and that clashes with Claude, you could be in trouble and you might lose data. So if you're creating your folders, make sure you create your folder at the root level of the user account on your machine, if that makes sense. So what you can do when you have that set up in Claude Code in Cowork, so I've connected my Cowork workspace. I can ask it about clients. So what client folders? So show me client folders. So you can set up the structure in here however you wish. So for example, I can ask it to show me the folder structure just for you guys so you can see it. So when you have a folder structure already set up, you can decide how you want this organized. So for example, with this particular folder structure, you can see that Claude has access to my client folders, client one, client two, client three. It's also got access to my project folders, project one, project two, project three. So you can structure this. If you structure your workspace in the same format and restrict your work to your dedicated workspace, it means you will it'll help you stay organized and your stuff isn't all over the place, scattered to the four winds. The structure of your workspace is really important, and I've mentioned this before in previous sessions. And if you work to this type of setup, or a similar one, you will be uh, in a much better place organization wise than you would otherwise be because you know exactly where stuff is. Claude knows where to go for certain things. You could say, I want to work on project B, or where did we leave off on project P004? So I could say, for example, okay, tell me where we are with project P004. All my projects get project numbers. It's just how I like to set it up. It means I have an easy reference for myself, and Claude has an easy reference for itself. So remember, we've given it access to the folders, to the workspace folders. So it's reading the status for project 04. It's reading the state file, which is basically memory, and it tells me where I am with project 004. I've completed the rules, status, framework, etc. Next recorded step. Last worked on the 20th of February, so it's been about 2.5 weeks, etc., etc. What to pick up, what to pick up the skill audit, want to pick up the skill audit, or has this project served its purposes and should it be archived? So when you organize yourself and your workspace, whether you're using Claude Code or whether you're using Claude on a desktop, in this way, you'll be much better organized and you'll know where to get things. And you can restrict Claude's work to within a strict set of folders and files. That's probably the most important thing in terms of staying organized with AI is that you're giving it those boundaries. What else can I show you? Claude Cowork, global instructions for Cowork. These are slightly different to your custom instructions. Again, this is should be customized for your organization. And then the desktop app, there's just a couple of other settings here. Run on startup if you want, you can turn that on. Quick access shortcut, tap option twice, that's fine. Voice shortcut, caps lock. Press once to start dictation. Really handy. I'm on a Mac, so I have a dictation feature that you can talk to your machine much quicker than typing. So suggest you turn that on. Menu bar turned on. I don't want to keep computer awake. Extensions, you can add extensions, browse extensions. Um, I don't know if you can see that. Maybe you can. Um, Browse the extensions here and add additional ones that you want. So Claude, something in the chat there. Come on. The recording will be shared. Yeah. How do you activate your skill? Zinto. Delete spam. Okay. Yeah. So Maro, I didn't see your comment coming in there, but if you want to delete spam, you just tell it to do so. Delete from but your spam folder will generally be emptied every 30 days from within your email client. So that mightn't be something you need to worry too much about. Um, Zintao says, how do you activate your skill? So let me go back. Where did we cover that? I think it was in the chat. Was it this custom? So we created the skill here. So you'll see this. Zintel, can you see to your skills? That's where you activate it. So I've already added this or copied it to my skill, so it's already in there. But once you create your skill, that's where you hit that button and then it's activated. And then Abinaya, will the recording be shared? Yeah. Link in the chat there to pick up the recording afterwards. Um, 2:45. Okay, I'm going to hand it to you folks now. Do you have any questions for me I know I flew through that really quickly, but you need to spend a bit of time in the back end settings of your Claude desktop application. So to go through those settings and explore and become familiar with how they work, skills and capabilities and extensions, broaden the capabilities of your Claude desktop application. And remember, when you're using Cowork, you'll be restricted to only certain folders on your machine. So Zinto, does that mean the skill will run automatically? Yeah, it will. It will be called basically if you mention Gmail or email or staying organized or give me an update on the latest emails, Claude will find the skill and activate the skill most of the time. Sometimes you'll find that it may not, but most of the time it will. Or you can invoke it directly simply by asking for it. Any other questions? No problem. Any other questions or comments? You're welcome to unmute yourself as well and come in if you have anything you want to add. No
Hi,
problem.
Larry.
How you
This
doing,
is
Abby?
Abhinaya. How
How
are
you
you?
doing? Good, good.
I'm good too, thanks. So I had a doubt with connecting Claude through MCP. So basically, I am working in SAP. I'm a developer, SAP developer. So
Yeah,
I wanted to, because SAP context is very, this is an enterprise license and it's not available as much. So I need to connect through MCP to Claude and to the SAP. So this is something I wanted to try.
yeah,
So do you think is it possible, and how can do you have any idea like how do you do this, and
yeah.
what is like MCP means? What does it mean, and like what are the MCPs we have, and how does that work?
Okay, Abinaya, have I got your name right?
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
Great. So, are you using Claude Code or are you using Claude Desktop or how are you using the tool?
I don't have any license yet, so I was thinking to
Okay.
use the free version, just Claude.
Okay. You might find it tricky I'm not sure if access to MCPs is available on the free version, but you should try it. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
what I will say is how I use MCPs. I generally, if I can, I create my own. So
Oh,
if
you
if
create
the
your
app
own MCP.
create my own MCP, yeah, and the reason being is I'm careful about third parties because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know uh, what's inside the MCP. So
Oh.
I like to create my own, and if the application has an API, so
Mm,
let's say it's a bank, let's say Revolut Bank, okay?
mm,
Or let's say it's Sage accounting software. So Sage accounting software has an API and I have access to that API because I have a Sage account. And so I will create an API key inside the Sage app and I will use that API key to create an MCP using Claude. And so I know now that the MCP only contains what I need for this particular connection or this particular workflow that I want to create. Does that make sense?
yes, that makes sense. But okay, I didn't know that we will be able to create an MCP actually because
Yeah.
I'm very new here to the MCP and all this.
So let me show you what I would do, right? So um, let me just show you this. This is Claude Code, okay?
Mm-hmm, okay. And
And
Claude Desktop also is a paid version, Larry.
yeah, it's basically think about the desktop as a skin or a container for Claude. So just as you might use the desktop application, you can also use other applications like this one. This is VS Code,
Mm-hmm.
and I've installed the extension, as you can see here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have too many windows open. Just bear with me 1 second. I need to get a second screen. So this is VS Code. This is the software you're looking at, and I have this Claude Code extension.
Mm.
And once I have the extension, I log in and I have access to Claude Code inside this application here. And this is how I use Claude all the
Okay.
time. And so I've got my workspace here and I've all my documentations. I've got my projects here and all my projects get numbers, as you can see. That's just my structure. So if I wanted to create an MCP, I'd start here and I'd say, um, so let me turn on the voice control because it's better. I want to create an MCP for software package Sage Accounting. Help me
Mm.
set that up. And Claude will walk me through the process. Now, I already have the Sage MCP built, so it should know that. Um, just delete that. It's still picking up my voice. Yeah, so you can see here it's identified that project 026 is the accounting MCP. So let's pick a different one. So I tell you what is the name of the software that you're using?
It's SAP.
SAP.
Yeah.
And does it have an API?
Uh, yes, it's having a lot of APIs.
Okay. I want to create an MCP for SAP. Uh, Help me set that up. So Claude will go to work. Okay, I need to understand the scope. All right, so let's get it a link. So let's go to a web. I'm just going in my browser here. SAP uh,
I
uh,
think it should be S4 HANA.
API. Connect SAP to Power. Okay, API integration. Ignite. No, that's not it. SAP resources. Let's grab that link. So what I do is Claude needs some information. I just go to the web and I grab a link and I give it to Claude and I say, here you go. Um, so that's a trial account. Okay, which SAP product? So what SAP product are we talking about?
This is about S4 HANA.
S4 HANA. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want the MCB to read, write business partners, purchase orders, sales orders, financial, etc., etc.? Do you already have access to S4 HANA instance?
Or on-premise, or do you need? Okay, the first thing is was okay. Let's keep it simple, just to read the business partners. And do you already have an access test for an instance, or do you need to set up a trial? Or yeah,
You can
can we try to do trial or sandbox? We will try to set up a trial or sandbox first.
Okay. So what's good here, if you're doing this, is to go into plan mode.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So plan mode is a bit more structured in terms of how it approaches the question.
Oh, okay.
So this is how you will engage with the
Mm.
AI to create the MCP. And you can see on the left-hand side, I've MCP servers created here. All of these are my own. I created these.
Oh,
Um,
these are all MCP, which is created by Claude.
yeah, so this is an experiment. Some of
Mm.
these are experiments. Some of them work like the WordPress MCP. That works pretty well.
Mm.
My what else? My Sage MCP works.
So basically, MCP needs a what does it need actually from the any system like in API, Larry?
Claude will guide you through every step of the way,
Mm.
and then your MCPs will be found in should be in here. I think that's hidden. This folder is set up a little bit differently, but nonetheless,
So, okay, it depends upon the application, and then
yeah,
the code guides
yeah,
us to create an MCP.
and depends what you wanted to do.
Mm. And then we connect this MCP to Claude, and then it can answer or do anything on the application directly.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. That's very cool.
And once it runs, like it's really smart. Once it's connected, now be careful about your credentials.
Mm.
Your credentials need to be let me see need to be local. They don't go to any repository if you're saving it to an external repository. So just be careful of that
Okay.
because your repository could be exposed to third parties, you know?
Mm-mm. So I should keep that separately.
So we'll ask it here once it's finished its process. Let's ask it about credentials, okay?
Mm. But credentials means it's only the API key it accepts,
API
or?
key, yeah, yeah. So you can see its entire process here. So this can take anywhere from like 15
Mm.
minutes to like a half an hour or maybe an hour, depending on, you have to get a license key, you have to come back, you have to test it and verify it and stuff like that. So
Mm.
it
Mm.
depends on the functionality of the MCP, but Claude Code will walk you through every single aspect of it.
Mm. Okay. So is there any option to like visually see the MCP servers, like a user interface for these MCPs, Larry?
Yeah, that's interesting. I've never actually used one, but it's a good question.
Mm.
I might look into that.
Yeah.
Let's open a new tab and ask Claude about this. Can you give me a means of viewing an MCP visually? MCP inspector, so we can install that. VS Code MCP
MCP
panel. You're
panel.
using Cloud Code and VS Code, which we are. You can
You
check
can also
the MCP server status via the Cloud Code output
oh,
panel.
uh,
MCP inspector is the standard answer here. It gives you a full visual interface to browse tools, see their JSON schemas, and send test requests, view responses. Yeah, why not? Why don't we launch it? How's this going? Still working. So the joy of working with Claude Code in VS Code like this is that you can
mm.
have multiple editors open at the same time working on different tasks.
Oh, okay.
See
You
them
don't
here?
need to depend on just one
Yeah,
thing.
see this here on the left?
Mm.
So these are my editors, and I might have four or five different things going at the same time. Now, it can be problematic if if you're really immersed in a task and you've got your blinkers on and you're working on something, and then you get a notification that this one is finished, and you go, "What was I doing here? I can't remember what I was even doing." So you
Uh,
have to crawl back through the
yeah.
process to trigger your own memory.
Mm.
So we've two tasks running here at the minute.
But the free trial version is not possible as an extension to Visual Studio.
I don't believe it is. Yeah, it's not. You have to be on the €20 a month plan to access it.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, like since I've began using Claude Code in
Mm,
Visual Studio, I'm dropping other services and I'm only using VS Code and
mm,
my Claude account. And it does a lot. Like it does so much. It's incredible. Um, but that's not to
mm,
say that it lets you off the hook. You have to still watch it. It's like a junior office assistant. It's like a junior engineer. You have to watch what it does and correct it when it makes mistakes, you know?
mm,
Okay, so if you want to hook up with me later, we can maybe continue the conversation. I can help you a little bit further with the MCP. But there are ways we need to look into this a little bit more. What's it telling me
mm.
here? To launch the MCP inspector, the server code needs to exist first. Two options: rebuild it, check if there's an npm package. I can do that later on. But it looks like it's possible here, so that's worth exploring, either even for myself. This MCP for SAP is still working here. Are we getting some results?
I think it's creating a sandbox system and then it's trying to connect it with the
Yeah,
API. That's why it's taking a long time.
yeah,
Because even if you want to create a sandbox for the SAP system, right, you would need an account in
correct.
something in
Yeah,
a
yeah,
platform as a service tool.
yeah.
So I think I
It'll probably run an error here or tell me,
mm, I think that's why it's again and again trying to do it,
yeah.
create.
So I don't know how long
Yeah.
it's going to take here, but you
Yeah.
kind of get the picture, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So in short, you simply need to ask Claude to help you build the MCP
Mm,
and give it some information like the link to the site or to the application developer documentation. That always helps. It can read through
mm-hmm.
developer docs much faster than you and I can and give you answers, pretty quickly and helps it build whatever you need to build much quicker, you know?
Okay, so now when you say MCP, we are creating an MCP here, right? And it was
Yeah.
asking for a particular API. What do you need to do? So if there is an application and you want to create an MCP, um, is it only possible that for a single operation, or we can create an MCP for that application, or for the whole? I want to expose the whole application to Claude. So
Yeah.
is that's also possible through MCP
Yeah.
because the SAP is very, very wide
Correct.
and yeah, and it is a very big application.
Yeah.
So
You
if
might you might want to you might want to make sub like small break it up into smaller units because the
mm,
larger number of tools you have in an MCP, the more
mm,
context it's going to consume because it loads a lot of those tools. Well, it loads all of them at the start of a conversation or in every session. It loads those. Now it doesn't load the whole MCP. It loads the introduction and a short statement about each tool. But just be aware that the larger the MCP and the more tools are included in it, the more of your context will be consumed by that MCP, if that makes sense.
what do you mean context?
So, context, I mean by context, just share my screen again here. So, bear with me here one sec. So this is a context window. See here where I'm typing
Mm-mm.
now,
Yeah.
and everything that has come before in here, this is all context.
Mm,
So it's consuming context. Every piece of the conversation, every search, every process, every script that runs, every piece of content that it writes, all
mm,
consumes context. And you have 200,000 tokens. Um,
mm,
So if you're asking it to read large files, it can blow up your context or it can consume a lot of your context.
Mm, okay.
And this will stop dead. You see, have I
Yeah,
got
but the code, Cloud Code is not getting charged as per the token, right? Each.
no,
Uh-huh.
if you're on a subscription, that's it. 20
Mm,
quid a month, that's it.
mm,
So here's the result for this MCP. Here's the breakdown of three. What are they
all
doing
three
here?
desktop.
No, that's the wrong one. Sorry. It's still running here. Yeah, so that's the MCP, the question you asked about viewing. So you want to
Mm,
take a note of that MCP inspector. This one here, VS Code MCP
MCP.
panel.
Oh, okay. MCP inspector and panel. Okay.
You can search in the extensions here as well. You might find something.
Yeah. So basically, Claude Desktop isn't just an application, and you add the Claude code as an extension, and then you can use it. Or
So I would say for your particular use case, you'll want to look at Visual Studio
mm,
with the Cloud Code extension. I'd say that would suit your needs much better.
mm, okay. Then
Uh,
when does we use for go for Claude Desktop, Larry?
Pardon me?
When do we go for Claude Desktop?
It's more suited to office knowledge work, uh, non-technical, non-coding type work.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say creating MCPs, connecting applications together, the likes of SAP. I would say
Mm,
Visual Studio with the Cloud Code extension is what you'll really want.
uh-huh.
It's
Okay.
much more flexible for the type of work that you'll be doing.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Thank you. Thank
this
you. It's
everything is built. Everything is built and registered. Here's the summary. SAP Business Partner MCP server done. Shareable project. I can share this with you. Uh, TypeScript source in SRC compiled to build. Okay. The tools, you can check these out, and it's registered. So you're going to have to add your API key to the script, but and then test this obviously. But it looks like this is built here mostly anyway.
generate your API key from and then replace in this restart cloud code. Okay, it is asking for the API. Okay.
Yeah. I'll share this with you if you want to.
Yes, of course. That
Message me on Meetup or message me or click the join the Gen AI skills and I can chat to you in there. Let me get you the link again. Uh, so if you join Gen AI skills, I'll share this file with you and then you can pick it up from there.
yes, that would be very helpful. Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. Well, listen, thanks for your question. It was a good kind of use case there to explore. And thanks everyone for joining today. The recording will be available at the link below in the chat. Thanks, Kieran. And Abinaya, thanks for your question. And we'll see you again maybe next week if you can make it. Thanks for being here, John. All the best, folks, for now.
Thank you, Larry.
All the
See you
best.
next week. Bye.